Welcome to Unit 1 of Sophomore Grammar. This first lesson will review material you learned last year, but I will explain it all in a new way, through sentence patterns. There are only 7 different ways to combine subjects and verbs. That would seem to say that learning grammar must be pretty easy. We just need to understand these 7 patterns. When we speak of sentence patterns, we're talking about clauses, not phrases. You should remember from last year that a clause must have both a subject and a predicate. The complete subjects here, highlighted in yellow, are the nouns that are performing the actions, plus all the words that modify them. So you can see here, there's only one word, whereas here, for instance, there's the subject plus these 2 adjectives. The complete predicate, highlighted in red, are the verbs and all the words that are attached to the verbs. The complete predicate includes adverbs and nouns that receive the actions of the verb. I said there are only 7 ways to put together subjects and predicates. So here's the first way, pattern 1. Can you figure out what the formula is? Let's first separate the subjects from the predicates. Jordan is at school. Jordan is the subject. Is at school is the predicate. Kate will be in the gym. Kate is our subject. Will be in the gym is the predicate. Audrey and Lily were late. Audrey and Lily, here we have a compound subject, so both Audrey and Lily are the subject, and were late is our predicate. Now that we've reviewed the subjects and the predicates, try to figure out what each of these 3 sentences has in common. They're all the same formula. Pause the video until you have an answer. Here's the easy part. Each pattern starts with a subject. The crucial component, however, is the verb. So what do you notice about each of these verbs? Each of these sentences uses a be verb, so that is the second element of our pattern. There are only 7 be verbs, so I suggest you memorize them. They are incredibly important. In pattern 1, they are the main verb, but be verbs can also function as auxiliary or helping verbs. Okay, let's figure out this final element. At first, it seems like the pattern might end with a prepositional phrase, but the third example is just a single word, not a phrase. Let's ignore that third one for the moment and instead review prep phrases. If you have some uncertainty about prepositions, you might want to watch the supplementary video on prepositional phrases. These 2 prep phrases describe where the subjects are. So they're both adverbial. The last sentence ends with a single word adverb telling us time. So now we know that the final element of pattern 1 is an adverb of time or place. So here's what pattern 1 looks like. Subject plus be verb plus adverb of time or place. This is the only pattern that might have a prepositional phrase in it as part of this adverbial. Time for a concept check. Pause the video until you have the answer. Which of these sentences is pattern 1? Hopefully you picked sentence number 3. Kai will be in the library. Let's check. Our first step will always be to find the main verb. Even though this current sentence is easy, our grammar is going to get much more complicated this year. Trust me, always find the verb first. Next, you need to make sure we're dealing with a clause. A clause, remember, must have a subject and a verb. So the second step is to locate the subject. We're going to find plenty of things this year that look like verbs that actually are not functioning as verbs. So it's important to make sure we have a subject-verb combination. After locating the clause, we must figure out what kind of verb we have. Here, our main verb is a be verb, with the auxiliary will making it future tense. And in the final section, we have an adverbial prepositional phrase telling where. That's it for video 1. See you next time.